Einen schönen guten Tag. Wir sind wieder zurück bei Honkai Star Rail und ja, mein Mikroproblem ist jetzt auch gefixt. Das war ein bisschen doof. Naja, kann man nicht viel gegen machen. Es war einfach nur ein Fehler in der USB-Buchse in meinem PC. Keine Ahnung, was da passiert ist. Auf jeden Fall hat sich mal wieder was getan bei Honkai Star Rail, denn es gibt natürlich ein Update, neue Figuren, also eine neue Figur. Und diese neue Figur ist ziemlich nice. Ich würde sie sehr, sehr gerne haben, da sie spezielle Fähigkeiten hat, die ich gerne hätte. Gut, wir machen einfach mal die Figurenprobe für sie. Die Alternative wäre Topaz. Auf die habe ich auch schon mal ganz, ganz leicht gezogen. Fand ich ja eigentlich okay, aber wäre jetzt nicht das, was ich brauche. So prinzipiell. Deswegen werde ich euch jetzt mal zeigen, was sie hier so kann. Sie hat halt einfach Feuer. Das ist an sich schon mal eine schöne Sache. Dementsprechend würde sie in mein Team passen für ja, einfach Folgeangriffe. Weil das Attribut habe ich halt nicht. Das ist schon mal nicht schlecht. Ihre Fertigkeit fügt allen Gegnern geringen Feuerschaden zu, stellt gleichzeitig bei allen Verbündeten LP wieder her. Das ist schon mal schön. Und ihre Aktion wird noch vorgezogen. Das heißt, sie kann dann noch schneller wieder Sachen machen. Das heißt, ihre Fähigkeit ist nicht nur zum Heilen da. Nein, sie macht auch Schaden. Das ist schön, denn das würde dann bedeuten, dass sie Schaden macht und gleichzeitig auch noch den Schaden von Robin heißt sie, direkt auch mit verteilt, wenn ja, Robin halt in ihrem Ultimate drin ist. Und ihr Ultimate erhöht den erlittenen Bruchschaden aller Gegner. Das ist auch sehr, sehr gut. Fügt allen Gegnern Feuerschaden zu und stellt gleichzeitig bei allen Verbündeten LP wieder her. Und ihre Aktion wird auch noch wieder vorgezogen. Das heißt, wieder noch ein Buff, also Debuff auf den Gegner. Das ist schön. Und gleichzeitig natürlich extra Schaden und auch noch Heilung. Und das immer gleich auf alle Verbündete. Das finde ich auch sehr, sehr schön, weil da musst du nicht irgendwie zielen oder sonst was wie bei Hutao oder so. Oder hier bei Gallagher, wo du halt wirklich auf einen spezifischen zielen musst und dann möglicherweise andere nicht heilen kannst, was halt auch ein bisschen doof ist, finde ich. Ich finde immer, gemeinsame Heilung für alle, selbst wenn sie ein bisschen geringer ausfällt, ist meistens effizienter. Dann hat sie noch ein Talent, beschwört dieses kleine Vieh, dieser Hase, Geisterhase, whatever. Und durch den Einsatz der Fähigkeit, also wenn ihre Fähigkeit eingesetzt wird, dann wird der halt beschworen. Und der fügt quasi für sie Folgeangriffe aus. Und das ist eigentlich ganz cool, weil das auch nochmal meine Figuren heilt. Was echt sehr, sehr cool ist. Und es entfernt auch noch einen Debuff von allen Verbündeten. Sie ist eigentlich ein Wahnsinnsheiler und auch noch Support halt für Folgeangriffe, weil sie halt auch noch Folgeangriffe durchführt. Dementsprechend könnte theoretisch Jade, wenn Hertha rausgeflogen ist, weil kann ja passieren, einfach sie benutzen, um halt wieder Schaden zuzufügen. Vor allen Dingen fügt allen Gegnern geringen Feuerschaden zu, fügt allen Gegnern geringen Feuerschaden zu. Also nicht gering, sondern mehr Feuerschaden. Das heißt, sie greift auch wiederum alle an. Und auch der Folgeangriff, der alle Gegner trifft. Das ist sowas von praktisch. Ich brauche sie zwingend im Team. Denn mit Jade wäre sie fantastisch. Genauso wie halt Hertha noch mit oben drauf. Das lohnt sich richtig. Klar, sie wäre natürlich auch fantastisch für irgendwelche Bruchteams und keine Ahnung, für Superbruch und was weiß ich. Aber ich finde, es passt einfach perfekt in so ein richtiges Folgeangriff. Weil damit könnten wir wahrscheinlich wirklich was reißen. Und das würde sich richtig lohnen. Das ging schneller als erwartet. Und sie ist halt auch nicht schwach. Vor allen Dingen, da sie wirklich nur auf Angriffswerte. Also es geht nicht um Lebenspunkte oder sonst irgendwas. Es geht um Angriff. Und das finde ich sehr, sehr nice. Dementsprechend wird sie halt durch das Hochskalieren stärker. Ihre Angriffe werden immer stärker. Und gleichzeitig heilt sie mehr. Das ist richtig genial. Deswegen würde ich sie halt wirklich gerne haben. Mein einziges Problem bei ihr ist immer noch, dass sie auch, genauso wie Jade, ein Material braucht, was ich nicht habe. Und was ich auch nicht ranbekomme, bis ich halt in der Quest wieder weitergekommen bin. Dementsprechend, selbst wenn ich sie kriege, wird es nicht so einfach, sie hochzuleveln. Aber ich gebe mir Mühe, dass es vorangeht, dass es sinnvoll weitergeht. Und mal sehen, vielleicht schaffe ich sie zu ziehen. Ich muss gleich mal gucken, wie weit ich denn eigentlich bin mit meinen Ziehen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ich habe 8 mal 5 gezogen, also 40 Mal. Bei 90 kriege ich sie ja auf jeden Fall, beziehungsweise kriege ich auf jeden Fall einen 5-Sterne-Charakter. Da ich ja auf Kafka gezogen habe und Kafka auch direkt gekriegt habe, kann es natürlich auch sein, dass ich den 50-50 verliere. Das wäre ein bisschen traurig. Aber ich hoffe natürlich nicht, dass es passiert. Wir werden es aber sehen. Jetzt ist erstmal Sinn und Ziel der Sache, dass wir auf jeden Fall in der Quest weiterkommen. Das ist sehr, sehr wichtig. Damit wir hier auch mal ein gutes Stück vorankommen. So, teleportieren wir uns zu diesem Vollidioten, mit dem wir jetzt hier reden müssen. Da kommen wir nicht rundherum. Und versuchen uns zusammenzureißen, wenn er irgendwelche Scheiße labert. Gut. Hier, das können wir einsammeln. Ah, toll, das war eine CD. CDs sind ja so toll. Ah, okay. Für die kleine Harmonietaube einen Käfig bauen. Noch etwas länger drüber nachdenken. Okay, ich muss hier quasi mich entscheiden. Hier ein Vogelnest bauen.
Interesting. Since you've made up your mind, allow me to reveal what fate this choice will bring to the fledgling.
Da hat jemand irgendwelche Knaller gezündet vorm Haus.
From what I've observed, there are at least 3 predators in that yard that prey on small birds. The Vosicle Scorpion, Asdana Wolverine, and the Huntington Winged Snake. Even if they shy away from humans, these animals are still near apex predators in a fenced location like a yard.
In der Welt gibt's Schlangen mit Flügeln?
Only one fate awaits that little child.
Ich ein bisschen Schiss vor.
A painful death.
Stell dir mal vor, die fliegen so auf deinen Kopf oder so.
I am deeply sorry. Now, let us advance to the second decision. This time, it's the story of a dream chaser. This story happened when I was appointed as Bronze Melodia, a position exclusive to the Oak family, charged with listening to the problems and vexations of dreamscape residents, and providing them with the relevant guidance. It was during that period that I had the opportunity to hear voices from all corners of the dreamscape. Joy, sorrow, arrogance, regret. The complex tapestry of human nature that formed the world. And I was fortunate to catch a glimpse of it. He was a dream chaser and an illegal stowaway. Just like the rest of them, he came to Penacony in search of a better life. Except that, to most people, the price he paid I suppose you could say it was everything. He told me I sold everything I could at home. The house, the land, even his two
Die Geschichte haben wir auch schon mal
children.
gehört.
He
Das
had
können
a
wir ganz
plan
ehrlich
in place
überspringen,
after
weil ganz
hearing the
ehrlich,
dream chasers.
wozu nochmal
I'll
hören?
tell you the outcome. Will you do as I did, or will you remain silent? I look forward to everyone's decisions.
Die Bluthunde davon überzeugen, die Verfolgung aufzugeben. Ich glaube, ich würde das machen.
I'm honored to witness you arriving at the same decision. Out of respect, I'll share with you the dire consequence. First, the outcome. He attained major success. After avoiding capture, he ran a business for a few years, very quickly making a name for himself, elevating his status. He might not have become a tycoon like old Audie, but he was considered a character of excellent repute. Now then, did he realize the wish he set out to achieve? No. The last time I saw him was in the real world, where the hounds were going to permanently exile him, and I was the accompanying Bronze Melodia. The mission was simple. Listen to the criminal's repentance. He told me the reason he was in this predicament was because he conspired to usurp the head of the Alfalfa family. When I asked him about his two children, he instead responded with a question. What children? In the end, my heart aligned with the harmony, and the good deed I dared to undertake held no value, turning instead into a wrongdoing. It created a lamentable oppressor and countless oppressed individuals. As to your choice, I once again offer my heartfelt apologies. Next comes in the story this time, is my... This story happened the day I was appointed the Oak family head. At that time, Mr. Gopherwood was the current Dream Master. And as per his wish, we had a private conversation. What surprised me was that the Dream Master had only come to deliver a letter to me. He let me read its contents, and it was a letter from my sister. The letter contained the usual pleasantries, anecdotes from her travels, nothing out of the ordinary. Just as I started wondering how this letter related to our discussion, the Dream Master began to speak.
Do you know who wrote this letter?
My sister, of course. But why would you personally visit me to hand me a letter from my sister containing mere trivialities?
To help you grasp the full scope of this issue. Do you know where Robin is at this moment?
From what the letter indicates, she must be in Caspelina 8, correct? She's touring there right now.
Correct. Has she mentioned anything about a stray bullet?
A stray bullet? What?
A war has broken out on that planet. It is because of this very reason that Robin chose this destination. To spread the word of the Harmony. And to save the lives of that planet. She personally made for the front lines. She hoped to ease the people's suffering with song, and was willing to brave mortal danger to deliver the IPC's medical supplies. Unfortunately, stray bullets show no such compassion.
Is she all right?
If the operation was successful, she should probably be recovering in the field hospital. By the eon above, the bullet struck her neck directly, yet possibly as a reward for her consistent deeds of harmony. It didn't hit any vital arteries, Once you've attended to your outstanding tasks, it'd be advisable to write her back as soon as possible.
Those damned savages! I'll pack my bags right away. My gratitude for bringing this to my attention, Mr. Gopherwood. Now you understand why she always wears such elaborate neck ornaments, don't you?
How could this happen? Miss Robin.
It's all in the past, so please don't worry. I share this in the meager hope that you will understand the Harmonie's limitations and predicament. As grandiose as the strong defending the weak sounds, many times, it is nothing more than wishful thinking.
Gibt halt auch immer böse Menschen.
Likewise, I've prepared one last question, one last choice. But rest assured, this choice will not have any grave consequences. Because this is merely a figment of imagination, a nightmare that has haunted me through countless nights. If you ever had the opportunity to make a choice like I did, would you still support Robin's journey on the path of harmony?
Stimmt. Eindeutig. Unterstützt sie auf ihrer Reise.
I see. I am now aware of everyone's stances. Raising these questions merely serves to illustrate one point. The plight of Penacony cannot be salvaged by the Harmony. The true foundation for a sweet dream paradise can only be established through the order where the strong govern the weak. I know the suffering of being tormented, the turmoil of losing your way, how sorrow and even despair set in when matters don't work out. All of this causes me unending pain, because this is not what happiness is at all. We must teach the weak how to live a happy life. And this life isn't some noble propriety that the upper crust preaches, but in definitive terms, a way of survival that belongs to everyone.
So what is your definition of living a happy life?
Good question. Human consciousness is fundamentally an illusion, a cage known as self-worth. People lured in by this illusion make mistakes, yet still ask that external influences bear the burden. When one mistake after the next permeates the masses, they become impossible to trace. Thus, the amassing of these individual cages culminate to form a prison, a place dictated only by the rule of survival of the fittest. Nature is always accompanied by predation and sacrifice. Its antithesis is known as order. That is what I want to do. Unite people's happiness under the banner of order. They won't need to make bitter choices any longer, nor face the weaknesses of humanity. They can cast aside their primal instincts to build a haven for mankind. Simply describing thoughts is far too
Glaubst du, was haben
abstract.
die in Nordkorea
So
auch
allow
mal
me to
gesagt?
provide a simple example. As you all may know, there are societal norms like weekends and long weekends that exist on some worlds. During these hard-earned rest days, people are given the chance to extricate themselves from the stresses of everyday life, allowing a certain tranquility to return to their souls. And it is only on these days that people do not have to adhere to the law where the strong prey on the weak. They can live out their lives happily during these brief intermissions. It's just a pity that 2 or 3 days are still too fleeting compared to the span of a lifetime. From where I stand, society's ideal system should be 7 rest days. Following Sunday, there should ensue a second, a third, and indeed an infinite procession of Sundays. This should be the face
Deswegen
of
heißt
the
der
new
Sonntag.
world. Idyllic, eternal, peaceful days. And thus,
Wobei Sonntage immer
every
scheiße
person
sind.
can
Da kannst du nicht
return to their
einkaufen gehen.
base selves in this utopia. Some gaze in reverence at the stars, pouring their whole beings into calculating the distance between us and the isolated world of Pagana. Meanwhile, some seek refuge in quiet corners, holding one another, unencumbered by the chains of unwelcome obligations. There would be no need to bear the hardships of reality. Only in this way can humanity face the inevitable end with the purest of spirit, living a life of dignity. This is what it is to live in bliss. Miss Firefly, you who are stricken with entropy loss syndrome, you of all would surely understand this.
Jetzt mal als so kurzer Einwurf, weil mir das gerade nicht aus dem Kopf geht. Prinzipiell, ja, immer Wochenende zu haben, ist ja an sich eine schöne Sache. Du kannst immer tun und lassen, was du willst. Technisch gesehen ist ja das der Traum eines jeden, immer nur das zu tun, was man halt tun möchte. Wenn man arbeiten möchte, kann man natürlich arbeiten gehen. Aber wenn man das halt nicht will, dann sollte man auch nicht gezwungen werden, einen Job zu machen, den man nicht will. Finde ich an sich schöne Sache, schöner Gedanke, ist natürlich in der Realität nicht so umsetzbar. Allerdings, was mich halt ankotzt bei diesen Gedanken, wenn immer Sonntag wäre und du immer tun und lassen können tätest, was du willst, wer kümmert sich dann noch um die ganzen Geschäfte? Und dazu noch eine Frage, wenn es dann irgendwann mal vollautomatisierte Geschäfte gäbe, wo theoretisch nahezu kein Mensch mehr irgendwas machen müsste, dürften dann zum Sonntag diese Geschäfte offen haben? Weil so ein Automat oder so am Bahnhof, der darf ja auch sonntags offen haben. Weil ist ja niemand, der da irgendwie arbeiten muss für. Und Sinn und Ziel der Sache ist ja eigentlich, dass niemand arbeiten muss. Wenn also ein Geschäft vollständig nur durch Roboter, KI, was auch immer laufen würde, darf es dann sonntags in Deutschland offen haben? Das fände ich cool. Auch so Klamottenläden oder sowas. Da kannst du Sonntag gechillt shoppen gehen. Niemand stört dich. Ja gut, gerade bei Klamottenläden ist es vielleicht nicht unbedingt so einfach. Aber zumindest bei Lebensmittelläden. Dann staut es sich Samstag nicht immer so. Das wäre eigentlich ganz cool. Aber die Frage ist halt, ob das dann rechtlich, technisch gesehen in Deutschland möglich ist. Ich glaube, da müssen wir noch ein bisschen mehr Gesetzesgrundlage und so einen Scheiß schaffen, damit das funktioniert. Aber wenn verdammte Restaurants und sowas hier in Deutschland sonntags offen haben dürfen, dann sollte das ja theoretisch dann auch für vollautomatisierte Läden eigentlich auch gelten dürfen. Schätze ich mal. Glaube ich.
It sounds like a flawless theory.
Es hört sich immer wie eine gute Theorie an. Nur in der Praxis nicht umsetzbar.
The cost is minute, merely a personal and eternal sacrifice. If this paradise is to be maintained for everyone, someone must remain trapped in solitary awakening until the end of the cosmos.
Awakening. Which means that this so-called paradise is still a dream. Stepping into this paradise means forsaking reality, correct?
It is not forsaking, but transcending. Flesh, blood, sorrow, weakness. If the physical is the root of spiritual suffering, it is only logical that we defeat it.
Da hat man wieder dieses Problem, was auch in Matrix war. Würden die Menschen damit klarkommen, wenn es wirklich nur Frieden gäbe? Ohne jegliches Leid. Ich glaube, denen würde totlangweilig werden. Genauso wie die das auch in den Matrix gesagt haben. Ich glaube Matrix 2 oder so war das. Wo die gesagt haben, die hatten mal eine Matrix, wo nur Frieden vorherrschte. Wo alle in Frieden leben konnten. Und es hat nicht funktioniert. Die Menschheit konnte damit nicht leben. Es ging nicht. Und deswegen ist es halt schon, ich weiß nicht, ob so eine Utopie überhaupt möglich ist. Ich glaube, der Mensch braucht einfach irgendwas, worüber er sich aufregen kann, damit er existiert. Anders geht das nicht. Es ist zwar traurig, aber irgendwie auch lustig.
But in this supposed bliss, people won't have defeated their demons. The chance to overcome their tribulations would be forever lost to them. In other words, it is an escape.
That's another way of understanding it. But there is no shame in escape. On the contrary, the seeds of escape exist in everyone's hearts.
Realitätsflucht ist nicht gesund.
Don't you agree, Miss Firefly? And as for why life slumbers,
Wobei das sehr viele
it is
Menschen machen.
because we are afraid to awaken from our dreams. But this is not in conflict with the grand plan. Only in acknowledging this can we truly understand the frailty of human nature, and from there, show compassion and protection.
I admit that you are a born leader. Your perspective on humanity brims with pessimism. Yet you express compassion for all, even when your heart pities them. But unlike you, I live for the self. From my perspective, individuals making choices for themselves is their birthright.
Ja.
The want to escape may be innate in the weak. But whether they are weak or not, it is not up to another to decide.
Ja.
Perhaps in your mind, you also view me as weak? Because I don't think so.
Since Miss Firefly has said her piece, the Astral Express will also naturally give you our answer.
Du bist ein Idiot.
We'll leave it to you. Just as Mr. McCain
Warum gibt's das als Auswahlmöglichkeit?
Tell him our choice.
Ach, schade. Vor nicht allzu langer
What
Zeit.
is this place?
Das ist eine gute
Does
Frage.
this place ring any bells, Misha?
I don't know, but I feel a sense of deja vu. What is this place?
It's the realm within a dream bubble. This was left to the Astral Express by a nameless, but weirdly, when we entered it, it was completely empty. Dr. Edward from the Dreamscape sales store told me that dreams are formed from memories, and a dream bubble can't take shape if its core is empty. So I thought you might be able to help us in unraveling this mystery, Misha. As a hotel doorman, you know Penacony best among us.
I don't know much about dream bubbles, but if you want to figure out what this mansion is, I'll do my best.
I'm counting on you then.
Himeko, I still don't get it. Why were you so sure that Misha had a connection with this dream bubble?
I wasn't sure. It was just a hunch. But since Misha feels familiar with this place, my hunch might be correct.
Dieser Ort kommt mir irgendwie bekannt vor.
Exactly. This is where you and Firefly encountered death, which we now know as dormancy. Considering its connection to Dreamflux Reef, it's not surprising it appeared here.
Ich glaube, auch heute werde ich nicht bis zum großen Theater kommen. Wie lange geht das hier noch?
So far, it's unlikely to be that masked fool. So identifying them is crucial to us. We're drawing closer to the truth once more. Let's give Misha some time, as I believe he'll unveil the secret of this dream bubble.
All right, but there are doors all over the place.
Ich hoffe, die nächsten Geschichten werden wieder ein bisschen interessanter. Aber da werden wir dann sehen, wie es weitergeht.
I guess... maybe this way?
Nur dann.
I'm not entirely sure, but... let's give it a try.
Wait, you managed to choose the right door on your first...
Weird. This place is quite different from the hotel. But I feel like I've been here before and even lived here for a while.
Der Typ hat einen Schlüssel auch als Auge.
If I remember correctly, there should be a fireplace down that hallway.
Kann ich da einen Schlüssel reinstecken?
And I used to sit by the fire.
Und was passiert, wenn ich das tue?
Listening to the crackling of firewood. And the room on the other side was the toy room. I loved spreading out all the toys from the box on the floor and making up stories for each of them. Hold on. This doesn't make sense. Didn't I grow up in Dreamflux Reef? So, what is this place?
This could be a case of amnesia. Don't worry, Misha. It's common for everyone to forget certain aspects of the past. Those memories haven't vanished. Since this place seems familiar to you, why don't we explore a few more rooms and see if you can recall anything more?
Yeah, then let's check out the rooms I just mentioned.
Zumindest würde das Sinn ergeben.
I heard some noises from the room. Origami Bird?
You and Origami Bird are friends?
Yeah. It's a member of the Compass crew, just like Clocky and Miss Mirror. And there's more than just one Origami Bird. They are a big family with lots of brothers and sisters who look the same. They follow Miss Mirror's orders and handle all sorts of jobs on the ship. They're the best sailors.
Sailors? Can origami birds be sailors?
Could you tell us more about the compass, Misha?
The Compass is a ship bound for the New World. Clocky and his partners travel through layers of fog to the depths of the sea. Whenever there is danger, Clocky will use a compass and guide the ship in the right direction.
That's a great story. But in the Penacony cartoon, Clocky and his partners have always lived in Dreamville and never ventured out, right?
Huh? Oh, that does seem to be the case. Weird. I clearly remember... Clocky arrived in the New World in the end.
Perhaps Clocky has a hidden past.
So, where has Clocky gone? Did he leave to protect Dreamville?
Mikhail, that's the name. Now we all know him as the Watchmaker. So, who is he talking to?
I'm sorry. I don't know much about the Watchmaker. But Mikhail...
Anything special about that name?
Mikhail is Grandpa's name.
Ah, ist der Großvater.
Do you mean you're the Watchmaker's grandson?
But we haven't heard anything about the Watchmaker having descendants. And the name Mikhail is not rare. Perhaps it's merely a coincidence. Could you tell us more about your grandpa, Mikhail?
Yeah, sure. He was a seafarer who fearlessly ventured into mysterious seas and storms. He was always on the sea and had lots of friends who accompanied him on his travels. He didn't want me to call him Grandpa because that would make him sound old. He believed he was still young. The name Mikhail was given to him by his parents, Mihaly and Elise, both renowned seafarers. Every time he came back, he'd share his logbook with me and tell me about his adventures at sea. I want to become a great adventurer, just like him.
It appears that the seafarer has nothing to do with the watchmaker.
Ja doch, der war ein Trailblazer,
perhaps-
also von
so
daher.
where's your grandpa now?
He went off on a new journey, and it's been quite a while since I think I hear the sound of water.
You once mentioned there's a magnificent fountain up ahead.
Du, 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 du.
Look, there it is.
The water resembles a precious jewel, embedded in the dreams of all seafarers. Every time I gaze at the shimmering lights beneath the waves, it feels as though I'm back in this place, standing by your side.
Have you recalled anything, Misha?
Yeah, I saw these sentences in Grandpa's logbook. He used to say that despite the perils of the sea, whenever he stood on the deck in the afternoon, overlooking the sparkling waves, he would think of this fountain in front of his house. He often said that those moments felt like returning to his family's side, and the difficulties at sea didn't seem quite as challenging.
You know, I quite understand such sentiments.
Du redest daher, als wärst du Stein.
I'm not an elder.
Doch.
I was just...
Perhaps every adventurer far from home carries a fountain within their soul. Even though the other side of the sea remains shrouded in the unknown, the fountain in front of his house serves as a compass, leading him back to his cherished ones.
Yeah, while Grandpa was at home, we would stand by the fountain and place the compass. Back then, I would ask him when I could go on adventures like him, and he would always laugh and say I was still too young.
It seems this Mikhail is truly a seafarer and has nothing to do with the watchmaker.
Du bist schon ein bisschen dämlich,
Yeah.
oder?
Based on Misha's recollections, the scenes in the dream bubble appear to be his childhood memories.
But this raises more questions. According to Misha, he was clearly born on an oceanic planet and led an ordinary life. Could this be some sort of metaphor? Perhaps the sea
I'm sorry. I don't know, but
Mit Meer ist es Welt
my
allgemein.
memories keep
Wie
pouring
hohl
out
seid ihr eigentlich?
uncontrollably. Perhaps I'll remember more things if we go.
Na dann, gehen wir weiter. Kann ich hier irgendwas töten? Wäre zumindest.
We're going to the opposite side, right?
Hier war ich ja schon mal.
No, we should turn.
Huh? Something
Ah,
feels
jetzt kann ich auch hier rein.
different.
Up ahead is Grandpa's study.
The atmosphere in this room feels totally different.
Misha! You finally come!
Clocky, you're here. Huh. Yeah. This is the room where we first met each other.
Are those books on the bookshelf logbooks left behind by that seafarer?
Yeah. Whenever he came back, he placed a logbook on the bookshelf in his room. He described our world as a fountain. At some point, the sea started to gradually swallow up the land where people lived. To ensure that everyone had land to settle on, he had to continue exploring the sea in search for the source of the rising seawater. On that day, he called me to his study, telling me that he was embarking on another journey. However, I could sense the gravity in his expression. I asked him if I could go with him, but he said that my adventure lay elsewhere. He told me to stay home.
What sound?
He told me about a vast ocean in the sky. An ocean of stars. He spoke of a train that transports children with a desire to venture far away, traversing the sea of stars without
Habt ihr es jetzt
ever
begriffen?
stopping. He said that he knew the crew on the train, and that he had asked them to take me along. He said the journey I had always dreamed of would start there.
Kurzum, wir
A
müssen ihn mitnehmen.
train? Could it be?
It's the Astral Express. I remember now. Grandpa's friends are a group of nameless who came to this world to resolve a disaster caused by a star. Then, he gave his pocket watch to me. It was his cherished treasure, appearing in every one of his adventure tales. He explained that difficult times were ahead, but assured me that the watch would guide me. He said, as long as I kept moving forward, I'd eventually reach my desired destination. And then, the distant sound of a train whistle, echoing throughout the room.
Exactly, Misha! And then we followed that whistle, didn't we?
Yeah. I think I can still find the way we took.
Na dann. Gehen wir mal. Ah, okay.
This is the dream jig.
Do you remember?
Hey,
Looks like we're just one.
Das da. Das hier. Das da. Und das.
Nice work.
Ich schätze mal, ich muss da durch. Hui!
This is it. This is my room of clocks, while I spent my time waiting for Grandpa to return from his voyage. Walter gave me this workshop, and it became my secret base. Here, I learned how to repair clockwork and gears, out of my fondness of precision mechanics. In my dreams, I was the captain of the compass, embarking on adventures with my companions, Clocky and Miss Mirror, in search of the new world. I was born and raised here.
Jetzt fällt mir erstmal auf, dass die Türen auch
this
Schlüssellöcher
building
sind.
in the dream bubble is your childhood home.
Yes, but not exactly. This dream bubble itself is my home.
Looks like you've remembered everything now.
wait. Why does it feel like everyone else knows something I don't?
Ja, du bist die Einzige ohne Ahnung hier.
Marge, do you remember when she mentioned the clocky that only she could see?
Yeah, the little guy here, right? But we all saw him in Dreamflux Reef, right? And Mr. Yang even greeted him.
Looks like everyone on the Astral Express has a childlike spirit.
The answer lies in the Astral Express. Her experience shows that neither Firefly nor Acheron can see this clocky. And when we were in Dreamflux Reef, you may have noticed that for some reason, nobody outside of the crew had ever talked with Clocky.
Ja, das ist mir auch aufgefallen.
A mimetic life that can only be seen by a select few. It's just like a hidden message left by someone for the nameless.
But Misha can see Clocky too, right? They even grew up together. But Misha hasn't started the way of the Trailblaze yet.
That's the key to the mystery, March. Now, take a moment to recall. Have you ever seen anyone outside of the crew interact with Misha?
Wait. No way!
That's the answer, March 7th. This dream bubble is the place where I was born. And I'm a dweller in this dream. I should have stayed here and waited for you. But when reality and memories merged, I unconsciously pushed open that door.
So So it's not that the Watchmaker's dream bubble is empty, but rather the stuff inside ran away? And the whistle you heard was the sound of the express arriving at Penacony?
That's one way to see it, but I believe there's a longer story behind all this. It's best for Misha himself to explain all the details. How about we start with your name? Now, should we call you Misha?
Thank you all for helping me rediscover my true self. Now, please allow me to reintroduce myself. I was born on Lushaka, in the Presmere system, adopted by seafarers Mikhail and Char. They gave me a treasure, a name that carried their hopes. Mikhail Char Legwork, or simply Misha. If you prefer, you can call me by a more familiar name, the Watchmaker.
So, you're the Watchmaker himself?
Unfortunately, that legendary figure is no more. I am only a reflection of his life. As for the child who has been with you, he's the innocent protagonist of Misha's childhood dream. A friend of Clonky, a young apprentice, and a future mechanic on the Express. And this also marks the beginning of his journey, devoted to the Trailblaze.
At the end of the journey, I left this little flame, which I so cherished, in my deepest dreams, hoping to pass it on to the nameless of future generations. However, he somehow left the dream bubble and forgot all about his task. I apologize for all the confusion this caused.
Because he was born with a desire to trailblaze, wasn't he? I don't think Misha has forgotten his role as a guide. He remembered it, and that's why he mistakenly appeared as a hotel doorman in her dream from the very beginning. The one who brought our unconscious friend here must have been Misha. If that's the case, we encountered the Watchmaker's legacy from the beginning, didn't we?
Well, I have a sarcastic friend who says I always take big detours and end up back where I started. Perhaps that's what every nameless has to go through. But in the end, you found me. I'm sure you're all wondering what my legacy is. I believe my hound has mentioned the Stellaron and my wealth. If I may apologize, the Stellaron part is real. As for my wealth, however, it's nothing more than a baseless rumor. I left my homeland as a child and embarked on the journey of Trailblaze. I traveled to various planets until finally reaching Asdana, where my friends and I built the original Penacony and fought for its future ever since. I've been moving forward all my life, doing what I could to overcome the obstacles in my path. But ultimately, my journey reached its end, and I left behind no possessions worth entrusting. So, if you ask what's left within this worn-out train engine that can be called a legacy, I suppose it's the things that are still burning in the engine's furnace. Now that you're well aware of the current situation of Penacony, I certainly hope that you'll help me get this world back on track. But I'll leave that decision to you, for the path of Trailblaze is never paved by others. All I have for you is a story and 2 gifts. I want to give you my pocket watch. It has accompanied me throughout my long journey, guiding that naive child forward, and has been blessed with the presence of so many great people up to... And my hat, too. The one who navigated for me placed it on my head and planted a fanciful thought in my mind. The trailblazing expedition will never end. Now, it's time for you to make your choice. Once you've made up your mind, open that door and enter the long dream of an old man. I'll be waiting for you at the end of this corridor of time.
All right, everyone. Let's make a decision. Although I don't think anyone will have any objections.
Ich möchte das Vermächtnis sehen.
Of course. We've come this far. Surely.
In that case, it's unanimous.
Okay.
Then let's proceed together to the end of this dream and tell Mikhail our decision.
Ich will den Hut haben. Tür öffnen.
Mikhail, where are you going?
Someone has to step up and save Lushaka. So why can't it be me, Misha?
Please don't go. And if you must, please take me with you. Don't leave me alone.
Even without me, you know how to proceed forward, brave Captain Misha. The compass is waiting for you. Haven't you always wanted to be a better adventurer than me?
Now go, board that train and start your journey.
Where are you going, Mikhail?
I'm going to clean the floor in the parlor car. I've promised the conductor.
Wait, first tell me, did you fix this watch?
Yeah?
I know what it looked like before. Its chain was broken, the back case torn, and the marks on the dial all worn out. How did you manage to fix it?
Well, it's hard to explain, but I knew it could be fixed. It's the hands, Mr. Amundsen. Its hands were intact and pointing in the right direction, so I knew there would be a way to fix the rest.
I see. You'll work with me from now on. Haven't you always wanted to tinker with this train? You're its mechanic now. As for the conductor, I'll do the talking.
But I only know how to fix watches.
Don't worry. You've got what it takes. I'll teach you what you need to know.
Where are you going, legwork? It's time to head to our next stop. I'm staying in Astana with Rosalina and Tiernan.
I see. This place reminds you of home.
The people of Astana have only achieved a tiny victory, and still have a long way to go towards true freedom. Hanunu needs us. Don't worry, not all journeys lead to the stars. Even if I leave the Express, our path of trailblaze will continue.
Yeah. I knew you wouldn't stay on the Express forever. Leave in peace, my friend.
This is Mr. Amundsen's hat. But why?
When he departed, he said he would leave it to his best student. Well, I suppose the time has come. Farewell, legwork. Take care of Tiernan and Rosalina. And don't forget to write to us.
Where are you going, watchmaker?
Don't worry, Micah. Just going on a little trip. Someone has to be at the forefront of the interstellar frontier, and I'm the only former nameless in Penacony. So why can't it be me?
Because you're all we have. Have you forgotten about Tiernan? The cosmos is way more dangerous now. What will happen to Penacony if we lose you too?
But what will happen to Penacony if we don't find a way out? Ah, Tiernan. How could I ever forget him? I've spent countless sleepless nights asking myself why I didn't go with him back then. We Nameless won't stop. Don't worry, Micah. It's just a matter of getting back to my old profession. Just wait for me to come back. But if, and it's a big if I don't come back in one piece, then you'll become the next watchmaker.
Where are you going, old man?
Oh, you're here.
Answer my question. What are you up to?
Relax, Gallagher. I just came up with a great idea. Oh, come on. Aren't all your ideas just ways to get yourself killed? I may be blunt here, but you're the last remaining hero in Penacony. If you die too, the secret of the Stellaron will go to the grave with you.
Yes, I'm afraid there's no way out in Penacony, so I'll have to consider alternatives beyond Asdana. We'll organize a festival using the Watchmaker's legacy as a facade, and send invitations to the entire cosmos to gather people here.
So, a desperate struggle against the family?
Desperate? Don't we have you here, my friend? This task is challenging, but what hasn't been challenging for us along the way? Well, whatever you do, remember, make sure to send an invitation to the Astral Express.
Misha!
Immer noch nicht.
Oh, it's you, Clocky. Take me to Dreamflux Reef. Last night, I had a long dream about the day we met. I want to write down that dream.
Write it down? What?
Oh, so I won't forget it. Do you remember how you got your name, Clocky?
Of course! You told me that when you were a kid, you lived in a room full of clocks. Those wall clocks and pocket watches grew up with you and were your best friends.
Yes, but what I didn't mention was there's a funny misunderstanding. I was a kid, and there was always a special pocket watch in my memories. It was with my grandpa, guiding him on his sea voyages. I wanted to have a pocket watch like that too. And that's when you appeared in my dreams.
Yeah. Every night, we boarded the compass and set sail together.
But you know what? It wasn't until the day my grandpa gave it to me that I realized it wasn't a pocket watch at all. It was a compass. So your name should have been Compassy, and the watchmaker is just a nameless.
We've arrived at Dreamflux Reef. So, where to next?
You know, Clocky, I don't think I'll be going anywhere else.
Kann mich nicht schneller bewegen. Ist der lahmarschig?
I've traveled far enough, and it's time for a little break.
Oh. So, we'll set out again.
No, I'll stay here. And then, this is where it ends.
This is where it ends? What do you mean, Misha? You told me that the trailblazing expedition would never end.
Yeah, that's what I said. So now, it's up to you to decide your next destination.
My next destination? What's that supposed to be, Misha? You're acting weird today. If you're feeling down, we can just do what we usually do.
No, I'm not feeling down. As for clockwork, yeah, it resolves all problems in this dream. So, do you know what clockwork actually is? Well, everyone gets lost at times. They may hesitate and doubt which way to go, that happens in this dreamscape and beyond. But don't worry. Everyone goes through moments of uncertainty and hesitation. Eventually, they gather the courage to make bold decisions. Whether it's calming, happy, angry, or sad. All they need is a little nudge to take that step toward where they truly belong. I'm leaving that little nudge with you, and I hope you'll share it with others.
Okay.
Such is the essence of clockwork, the will of the trailblaze.
Jetzt setz dich endlich hin und beende das.
Clocky's hands spin around non-stop, indicating confusion, frustration, and weakness. But ultimately, people still need to move forward.
Just like your hands, always pointing ahead. This is where my journey ends. From now on, it is your path to walk.
Trailblazing means taking paths your predecessors forswore and venturing even further. The Penacony in Mikhail's dreams does not belong to order.
I can't believe that Eon would cast a glance at Penacony at a time like this. Is it because of the resonance from the legacy of the Trailblaze? Or perhaps the bond between you is so strong that it even impresses an Eon?
Ja, den Hut nehmen wir
Well,
auf.
there might be another possibility. Perhaps they want to witness, on behalf of the fallen Eons, who will hold the future of Penacony.
If that's the case, on behalf of the Dream Master of Penacony and the 107,336 members of the Oak family, I'm extending a formal invitation to all of you. I'm cordially inviting you all to the Penacony Grand Theater to participate in the upcoming Harmonie Festival. And, of course, you won't be in the audience, but on center stage, since the future of the Stellaron, Penacony, and even the entire cosmos is at stake. Let's draw a conclusion there. If you truly believe in Akavili's path, then show me their courage and determination.
Geschafft! Endlich! Zumindest die Quest ist jetzt erstmal vorbei und ich habe jetzt für den Trailblazer ein neues Eidolon bekommen.
Unknown to each other,
Für seine Harmonie-Version.
we make the same choices.
Das ist nicht ganz falsch. Irgendein komisches Ding habe ich auch noch bekommen. Tritt auf dem Pfad der Harmonie. Das ist nicht falsch. Nehmen wir so mit. Ich würde jetzt gerne gleich nochmal kurz ziehen. Da kommt nicht wirklich was bei rum. Das ist schade. Hätte ja sein können, wäre zu schön gewesen. Gut. Ich denke, das war es dann erstmal auch für heute. Wir haben uns sehr viel Dialoge angucken müssen. So wie immer in letzter Zeit. Es ist leider nicht so viel wirklich passiert. Immer nur Geschichte, 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 Geschichte. Ich hätte auch gerne ein bisschen gekämpft. Ist leider nicht dazu gekommen. Sehr, sehr schade. Aber da kann man wohl nicht viel machen. Dennoch ist auf jeden Fall interessante Geschichte. Es könnte schlimmer sein. Aber es hätte ein bisschen schneller gehen können. Lahmarschig. Ich hoffe, dass jetzt im großen Theater das Ganze so richtig losgeht. Da wird wahrscheinlich auch der große Kampf stattfinden, denn laut Jades Ding da, was die braucht, ist auf jeden Fall das Schatten des Krieges oder so, wie das heißt. Auf jeden Fall im großen Theater, das heißt, dort wird auf jeden Fall was richtig abgehen. Ich bin gespannt, wann es losgeht. Ich hoffe doch jetzt endlich, dass es ja einfach startet und ich damit auch endlich, hoffentlich, ja, Jade ausbauen kann. Das ist ja eigentlich Sinn und Ziel der ganzen Sache gewesen. Aber leider komme ich halt durch die Trailblaze-Mission echt arschlangsam durch. Naja, ich denke, das war's für heute und wir sehen uns dann einfach beim nächsten Mal. Bis dahin. Tschüss.